today. But yeah. What's happening? How'd you guys do today? I had a crazy session with snow. What was this sell-off? What was the reason for it, y'all? I think it was probably just a normal sell imbalance, but damn. SPY dropped. All right. Well, so the tickers I'm going to be watching today on the earnings is going to be Intuit, TurboTax, right? You don't hear anything? Hello, hello, hello. Michelle can hear me. Intuit's already ripping here. We also have Workday. Yeah, snowflake, man. I hate that I did it late in the day like that, but you know, that's just what happens sometimes. It's a big time frame level, so I still have that much bigger move planned out, right, that I would like to take advantage of on snow, but today's day trading action was just terrible, but I think day 2 will be better. I got a little too aggressive this morning on that. I think not like sizing wise, but more so timing wise. I took that second candle of the day when I saw volume just spike that much, and we broke 199 and we were 50 cents away from 200. So it's okay. Size small there. Added some here. Was nicely green, but in those contracts, once it started chopping around, just totally lost value. So had to move on from that. But I ended up catching this move here. I got it around 198. So catching a $3 move on that, ended up paying for that loss and some. But anyway, it's just kind of a weird day. Not my favorite. Intuit though spiked pretty nicely here. We're up about $13-14. So far, so good. Let's see what Bull has earnings. Oh, really? That's interesting. Sorry, I'm covering this earnings stream, so I wasn't paying attention yet. Bull, really? Yeah, Webull earnings. Interesting. That'll be fun. Yeah, Roland, me too, man. It's that was sucky. I really thought there was going to be a pretty awesome trade there. I was excited for that. But we've been talking about snow for the last couple of months. I'm sure you remember me waiting for this 195 200 level. So I was willing to put some cash down, but nothing crazy. And then price action ended up being terrible. Webull's popping up here. Let's check out Workday real quick. Workday dumped, man. Look at that. Bye-bye. Wow. Let's see here. Workday adjusted EPS. $2.23 there. Must have been a let's see what else is going on. Looks like most things are a beat here, but I guess not by as much. Yeah, let's check out Weeble. That'll be more fun than Intuit or Workday here. Pull back down. Are you long any Weeble, Breckle? Two lottos, 14. Okay. Let's see. Bull still not moving. Looks like. Hang on. Let me check my source here. Let's go to Earnings Hub. For anyone who doesn't have a stream, well, I don't know. Most people probably don't use PCs. If you have a PC, getting a stream deck is awesome. Let's see. I don't have a time here. It's not on Earnings Hub. Huh. I don't know. Brand new stock. Let's go Workday. Still down. Wow. Still dropping. Intuit ripped. Yeah, I don't know what time typically on Earnings Hub. Like I can see what time the other ones come out, but I'll hang out for a little bit. Nothing too special. I do think Webull could be interesting though. I mean, this is it their first earnings ever? It is, I think. Yeah, Workday beat. It looks like it beat on most things, but I guess just not by enough. But maybe their earnings call helped them out. But that's a pretty decent drop there. I mean, 20 points at one point there almost. Kind of choppy though on a lot of things today. I mean, look at the video. This thing was pretty flat. Tesla was, kind of strong this morning, but still just kind of like new high pullback, new high pullback, new high pullback. Bill Ackman created a long position on Amazon allegedly, so that popped up today. That was that news there, middle of the day. I saw Google started the day really strong, ended up selling back off. But let's see. Intuit holding up beautifully. Workday holding down still. So those went opposite directions. Oh, 5 p.m. Okay, well, I'm not waiting around for an hour, but that'll be interesting to wait for, I think. PLTR looked good until the last 30 minutes of the day, it looks like. That was moving well. I was happy with that move back above 125. Sellers came right back in. So that flag is still in place. You just got to hold 120 now. Under 120, this is probably done. But yeah, for anyone that's here, if you have questions, anyone on YouTube, Twitch, or X, if you have any questions, you can throw them at me and I can answer those. I'll just hang out for a little bit longer, guys, and we'll get out of here. If Bull was a little bit earlier, I would stick around, but it looks like Intuit and so Intuit is up at 700 now. So that's a pretty big gap, honestly. It looks like all-time highs here is 715. So we're creeping up. This is breaking out of this consolidation area here from about 680 down to about 560. It's a big consolidation zone right there. So this may get moving of all stocks. I wonder why that would be. Anyone have guesses on that? Looks like some GME news from one of my friends here. He says that Roaring Kitty unfollowed Ryan Cohen and deleted his bio. Huh. Must be some stuff going on with old GameStop again. What's DJT up to? $25. That's pretty pathetic. Let's see here. My coaching people. Let me do this. Yeah, Jimmy's ripping. I don't know what y'all seeing. I guess we'll go back and check out the stocks here. Let's do a bull. It's funny. Swinging Bull is I think he had a dentist appointment today, but he's missing his ticker. Workday is still down. Intuit still going. Wow, this may go all-time highs. 709. This may go for 714. Let's see. Yeah, so Intuit rose after earnings grew more than expected in latest tax season. Less and less people want to do their own taxes. Yeah, no, I mean, Mastermind, I've traded snow before and it moved really well. Today, you and me both, man, we're very, very surprised at what that did. So, not much I could do about the price action. I still kind of got what I wanted in the first 10 minutes, and then it just totally changed moods. So kind of sucky. Contracts moved terribly. They lost value quick there, which I probably should have been a little more patient with. But I also was not going to miss that move if it was going to go. So I was willing to lose on it. Luckily, later in the morning today, it ripped up and I made my money back, which was nice. But Bitcoin and XRP predictions or thoughts? Bitcoin all-time high recently, right? So I mean, I think long term, like, Bitcoin could be a couple $100,000. BlackRock talks about Bitcoin being well past 500,000 by 2030. So that's interesting. I'm holding some XRP from just under $2. I don't think there's an XRP tracker on Thinkorswim, so I can't pull up the chart for you. But Bitcoin has been moving well. Who in here holds Bitcoin? Any of you guys? I got a little bit from like 17,000, so that should be up pretty nice. But yeah, I don't know. I did see though that someone, I think it was Ethereum, it wasn't Bitcoin, but someone swapped like $250 million of Ethereum into XRP like a day or two ago, though. Jackson's World, but yeah, kind of interesting. How'd you end up today, though, Mastermind? It was easy to get caught and like honestly lose a good little chunk there today if you weren't careful. How do you find Amazon stocks? What trading strategy work for you? So like, whoa! I think a bird just hit my window. That sucks, poor guy. Um, so like A+ setups for me. It's I don't have like a perfect criteria for you, but like things that really uh you know catch my attention are like, again, back to snow today. This is why I was kind of aggressive with it. We haven't been above 200 since February of 2024. Okay. So, and we have a huge gap above 200. So 200 all the way up to about 230 is a gap. So, that's a 30-point gap. Good earnings. This is, to me, look at this resistance here. We got it bounced off 195 here back in February 24, and bounced off 195 here back in February of this year. And here we are again in May, right? So this has been, a year and 3 months of this stock being under $200. So, like that's kind of just like a psychological part of that trade. But, to simplify it down for you, Mastermind, I want there to be some sort of catalyst, whether that's good earnings, whether that's a news catalyst for any reason, right? It could any sort of innovation in the company, maybe a new CEO, maybe a new headquarters, maybe a new manufacturing plant, maybe trade deals, maybe, for NVIDIA, a new chip or whatever. Any sort of positive catalyst or negative catalyst, if the setup's to the downside. And then I want to see obviously volume, right? Where that has to do with any trade. But secondly, I want there to be a big time frame level, right? So I always show Apple as an example of this. Okay, look at this, right? So we bounced off, 235, 235, 235, 235, 235, 235, 235, 235. And finally, once we broke through, this had nothing stopping it until about 250. So look what happened. Once we finally broke, and this had a catalyst coming into the end of the year. A lot of people buy iPhones to the end of the year, so sometimes Apple does see some strength just because Christmas presents. A lot of people buying Apple products. So once it finally broke out coming into the end of the year, that's a big time frame setup, right? It's not like I'm looking at a bull flag on a 1 minute chart, right? I'm zoomed out looking at 6 months or a year's worth of time. Does that make sense? Another example of Apple was was this break here at 200, right? Rejected 200, came back up, broke 200, went from 200 to 240 in like a week, right? It's a 20% move. So that's an example of a big time frame setup. So I hope that makes sense for you. Love some feedback on that if you have any, just so I know that you understand that or not. But catalyst, volume, big time frame setup. That's really like the three pillars of an A plus setup to me. And then obviously, like, the right market conditions, right? If Apple is setting up beautifully to the upside, but we're in a bear market, then I either have to wait for the market to bounce or I have to stay away from that trade because there's overall weakness in the market, right? So right now I'm on the 3-year weekly chart, but when I talk about big time frame setups, I want to be on the weekly or at least like the 1 year, 1 day chart. Like Boeing, another really great trade I had one time. For anyone that watches S&B Capital, you would understand this. It's called the bouncy ball setup, right? So when you drop a bouncy ball on the ground, it bounces up. And then when it bounces again, it doesn't go as high. When it bounces again, it doesn't go as high. And then it bounces until it's flat on the floor. So look at this, right? Huge drop after that bad news with the door coming off the plane, right? Bounce a little bit, 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 bounce a little bit. Once we finally broke 200 with an extra negative catalyst, we went from 200 down to 180. Again, about a 10% move lower in a matter of like 3 days. Okay, so again, big time frame setup, catalyst that complements the direction, volume, big trade. So that was a solid trade for me. So hope that makes sense as well. Sometimes you don't need a catalyst, but ideally the catalyst brings more volume and more attention to the stock, which then makes the move cleaner and most of the time bigger than if it's simply just a big time frame technical breakout setup. But yeah, let's see here. I'm gonna go back to and check out these stocks real quick from earnings. Let's do Workday. Just hanging out down there. Their call should start in about 9 minutes. Bull, let's see if that's moved anywhere. Bull came down, back up here, pretty much break even here after hours, and into it. Wow, look at that, guys. Let's see, 40, almost 70 points. That's pretty big. That's pretty big. That's all-time highs there, it looks like. Actually, 716 looks like the all-time high here. Wow. Look at that, guys. 716 and 714. This is like a massive cup and handle, it looks like. Do y'all see that? So maybe into it. The stock I never thought I would trade. What do these contracts look like? IV. Whoever swung calls on this is going to be like super, super, super happy. Let's see, 660. Yeah, these are going to be deep in the green if you swung calls. Shout out to anyone who did that. Most people probably didn't because it's freaking into it. Let's see, 1 second. Well, guys, I'm probably going to wrap things up here in a sec, but I will answer any other questions you'll have. I do have a lesson in about 2.5 hours with my coaching student. So for anyone that's typically joins that, I'll see you there. But if that's it, then that's it. You guys have a good rest of your evening. And for my people, I'll see y'all tonight. But I'll stick around for another like 2 minutes or so for questions if y'all have any. If not, have a good day. Yes, I am. I am trading tomorrow for premium students only. So I'll see you there, Mastermind. Yes, sir. All right. Well, not seeing anything from y'all. So I hope you have a good rest of the day. Like I said, pretty fun earnings today with some pretty big moves. I think Weeble will be interesting, but it looks like they aren't coming out for another 30 minutes or so. So be careful on that. Anyone that is swinging that, good luck. And that's it. I'll see you guys tonight. Bye bye.